Life is 3 steps forward, then 2, 3, sometimes 4 steps back. There's problems, failures, worries. Hello, friend. This weekend, my water went out. I woke up to no water this last Saturday morning. It's not freezing here. I didn't know what happened. I'm working around my house, no leak. But there was a leak. I have 7 acres, and between the meter at the road and my house, the water burst. I also have a pump for the water under my house that no longer works. A bunch of other things that broke this weekend. Like, have you ever had that point where you're like, worse? How could things get any worse? That was me this weekend, just defeated. Defeats do not have to last, and we can choose to soldier on. Isn't that a lot of life? Setback, move forward. You don't want to stand still and wallow in your defeats. So how do we stay motivated? Number 1, the first step is to write down wins. When you have something good that you did, that happened to you, something God blessed you with, are you writing it down? See, all too often our minds are trained to look for what is wrong and broken and defeated. Instead, write down when you had a win. And here's some clues. It doesn't need to be a home run. Like, I made $1 million yesterday and I'm going to write that down, but I'm never going to write anything else down. Or you have married, get married. That's a milestone to remember. But I'm more talking about, when did you give your best? Write that down. When did you take a step when you didn't feel like it? Did you go to the gym when you had no desire to? Did you wake up and read the Bible when you had no desire to? These are wins. Yes, celebrate progress. In fact, in our house, we have a big bell, and we ring the bell when there's a victory won. Why? We're trying to cement it. You need to write these down because, my friend, when you don't, you're always going to see what you didn't do, when you didn't take the effort, when you gave half-hearted effort, and that just leads to defeat. So write down when you made 100% effort. Write it down. Number 2, a connection with God keeps us motivated. See, all too often, we try to work our best to man up, to muscle through. It's false fuel. On our own, we are lost. And we can massively underestimate the power and the presence of God in our life, and so fall back into the same thing after same thing after same thing. See, when the pump went out this last weekend, you know what I did? I panicked. Ran around like Chicken Little. Wasn't quite that bad, but it wasn't bad. Do you know what I didn't do right away? Pray. Went to Google instead of Yahweh. And we do this all the time. You have something wrong with you medically, what do? Medical WebMD. It'll always tell you you're dying, by the way. Even a sore throat, you're dead. I mean, all these things. We go to Google, we go... Guys, there's Alexa in my kitchen. My kids don't even ask me questions anymore. They ask Alexa what's going on. And we can do the same thing. We need to be rooted in the power and presence of God because that is the thing that will keep us moving, not answers on Google. And I'm not saying to be dumbheaded, right? Like, we do need to look, but pray first and act like what is reality, that the power and presence of God will change everything, not our answers. See, later on I went down and I found the leak. It was very easy to find because my road was eroding away slowly, like bubbling up, and that's where it was happening. And I didn't know what to do in that moment because there was no shutoff down there. It was up at my house. And so I actually stopped and prayed. And my neighbor came down, and they knew the head of water department for my town. And so on a Saturday morning, the head of water department came and shut off my water at the meter. Answer to prayer. Remember, he changes everything. Our role matters, but in the end, it's his power, his presence, and have active participation in our life. Number 4, know your why to everything. Like, again, back to this weekend. I want my kids to be resilient. Like, I'm helping form human adults. Like, I want to model for them what I would love for them to act like. And it's not to run around crazy. It's to be calm and collected. And that's one of our whys. What's your why? Know your why. It will help get you up off the mat when you get knocked down. Because like the great theologian Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And so plan your why. Plan your way to get back up, because you will get knocked down. The next one, community. Community will help you stay motivated when you feel like your role doesn't matter. They will have answers for you when you don't have answers. Like, it was a neighbor that had a phone number that connected me with someone. It was a community that told me to keep recording videos, and that what I was doing mattered on days where it felt like it didn't. We need to actively build community for the sake of community, but also to keep us going when we're weak. Because we weren't meant to do this life alone. In fact, I was thinking about the redwoods this morning. Massive trees. Easily blown over when they're alone because their roots are shallow. But how do they protect themselves? They're interlocking their roots, and that helps them stand strong. Even things that look massively strong are weak without community. And so are you. So am I. Like I said earlier, the power and presence of God is what matters, honestly, the most. And one thing that will motivate you drastically is to remember what God thinks about you. And so if you need a reminder of that, watch this video right here.